Welcome, age of vintage society. Sitting in the corner with a glass of wine and enjoying hate comments, his life was not less than a Hollywood movie itself, as he experienced everything from image-spoiling rumours to a heartbreaking love story, but still stands alone and says, "The only way to truly understand me is to take a step inside my wild, creative world." So let's unlock the door and step into a whirlwind of colour, creativity and chaos. The world of Dennis Hopper. Why was Dennis Hopper considered the evil god of Hollywood? Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you are new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Age of Vintage channel. With a sharp brain, powerful muscles, druggy eyes and a keen sense of humour, Hopper was the key figure in Hollywood's golden age, with an illustrious career spanning over 5 decades. Although he didn't start his career as a hero, but still beats all actors with his bad guy style, and even earned the title the Evil God of Hollywood. Yes, he was that, all-in-one offer man who was an actor, filmmaker and photographer, who brought his unique style to the industry and had a direct impact on the development of Hollywood's cinematic history by appearing in some of the most iconic movies ever to grace the silver screen. Well, the role he usually plays was not hard to act for him, as he was a wild, devil-may-care attitude man behind the screen too, whose private life was no less than a thriller series. He was married 5 times, had 6 children and lived an erratic lifestyle full of substances, alcohol and occasional brushes with the law. Not only this, as he was also known for his tumultuous relationships with women, but he still was a passionate family man and remained attached to his children throughout his entire life. Well, no one could summarise Hopper's life, as his life was full of dramatic highs and lows, but he lived it to its fullest, no matter the consequences. Yes, he was a true rebel with a heart of gold who enthusiastically embraced every moment, and that's how he was trained by his parents. So as a child, Dennis Hopper was exposed to the world of art and creativity that would shape his entire career. Raised in San Diego, California by an opera singer father and a teacher mother, he was constantly surrounded by music and literature. From a young age, Hopper was determined to make his mark on the Hollywood scene, so he joined acting classes and soon landed his first role at the tender age of 14. Yes, we could say that Hopper's childhood shaped him into the successful artist he became, a true master of drama and photography who made a lasting footprint on cinema. Although his parents nurtured his innate talent for acting and encouraged him to pursue it further, but due to his father's abandonment of the family when he was only 5 and his mother's cold attitude toward him, the actor-turned-filmmaker had a strained relationship with his parents. We could say that Hopper was no stranger to complex family dynamics, as he confessed in interviews that he never felt loved by them, and their actions made him feel isolated and lonely. His mother's strictness didn't help either, as she kept him from doing things that would bring out his creative side, which he later found in his career. This pattern of neglect and suffocating atmosphere led Hopper to hate his parents, and due to their controlling behaviour, Hopper's life was in a downward spiral, and he despised it. He felt like his days were a never-ending struggle between the despair of his failed marriages and the pressures of Hollywood. Not only this, but his addiction had reached its peak, and he was often seen drunk on set. Now he was so desperate for money as he even resorted to selling his artwork and possessions. Well, although he wished to escape from the darkness that surrounded him, sadly it was too late, and it seemed like there was no way out, as he was the one who dragged himself to hell. He felt lost and alone in a life he no longer recognized. Now it seemed like the world had forgotten him, and nobody cared who Dennis Hopper was. Still, Dennis Hopper was determined to find himself and his way to stardom. He made his way to fame on his terms, refusing to conform and daring to take risks. He struggled, failed, and rose again. With sheer determination, he pursued his dreams and earned various awards, like the MTV Movie Award for Best Villain, the National Society of Film Critics Award for the Best Supporting Actor of the Year, the Endeavour Award, and much more. Well, it wasn't easy, but in the end it paid off. Dennis Hopper's story is one of grit, determination, and a reminder that anything is possible if you never give up, and as an iconic actor, filmmaker and photographer of the 1970s in American cinema, Hopper pushed boundaries and created a lasting impact. From his powerful performance in Easy Rider to his directorial debut with Roadside Prophets, Hopper was one of the most influential figures of this great wave of filmmaking. His contributions to acting and directing were revolutionary and still inspire creatives today. Hopper's fearless approach to art and cinema opened up many possibilities for the industry. His work set the stage for modern American filmmaking and gave us a glimpse into what greatness can be achieved. But after all this greatness, he was still titled an abrasive personality of Hollywood. Well, it was not because of his culinary roles, but due to his not to mess with attitude. Hopper's reputation was as horrible as his destiny, since he was still regarded as one of Hollywood's not to work with personalities after all these years. And his reputation starts to fall below the line when he was seen arguing with legendary director Henry Hathaway on the set of From Hell to Texas, and just because of his who cares style, he was unable to get work in Hollywood for more than 7 years. But even though the whole industry was against him, his individualism was still legendary, as he represented a radical break from traditional Hollywood conventions, embracing edgy and controversial storylines in his work. Hopper's willingness to go against the grain allowed for new perspectives on social issues at the time. His influence continues to be felt today with an inspiring legacy. His commitment to individualism and refusal to be pigeonholed was a revolutionary act that defined him as an artist, and he will always be remembered for his daring spirit, making it possible for others to break the mold and express themselves in ways that hadn't been seen before. Well, his break-the-rules personality made him renowned in Hollywood, and his acting career made him stand out from all. So, after years of not getting work, he was ready to set the stage on fire by giving the most defining films of the 20th century. His breakout movie roles in Easy Rider, Apocalypse Now and Blue Velvet, but all of the above, Blue Velvet, was the movie that made him earn the Best Villain Award of the year. Well, we know David Lynch's weird, bizarre work has traditionally been known more for its aesthetics than its dialogue, but Dennis Hopper as Frank Booth in Blue Velvet is undoubtedly the world's most memorable character, and, to be honest, part of the credit belongs to Lynch for inventing such an outrageous, unforgettable villain, but Frank is entirely Hopper's creation. I've to portray Frank because I am Frank to land the role, and I will literally add a terrifying realism to the character, the actor reportedly said. And yes, he was right, as his dialogue would have looked weird if delivered by any other actor, but from the opening sentence, "Shut up, it's Daddy, you jerk. What happened to my whiskey? Can't you recall anything?" Frank is an unquestionably nasty and endlessly entertaining figure. Well, surely raise a glass in honour of Hopper and Frank, and it would be an injustice if we filled it with anything other than Pabst Blue Ribbon. Whereas he was giving back-to-back hits in the industry, he was also known for his rebellious lifestyle. Whether it was crashing celebrity parties or riding motorcycles through Hollywood streets, Hopper lived large and fast. Well, not only this, but his life and art were forever intertwined in a passionate pursuit of pleasure. Dennis Hopper was the master of hedonism. He embodied the phrase, "live fast, die young," as his wild partying often led to excess, risk-taking and self-destruction, but also a great success. His daring experimentation with substances, alcohol and other indulgence fueled some of his most memorable performances and films. Above all, he showed us that it's possible to live life to the fullest, even if it means taking a few risks. But do you know what the most deadly risk Hopper has ever taken? The risk of quitting everything and entering the world of acting. Hopper was first introduced in 1955 when he co-starred with James Dean in the classic film Rebel Without a Cause. It was a turning point in his life, as that role and his relationship with Dean allowed Hopper to begin exploring his craft as an actor and filmmaker. Dean's influence on Hopper was immeasurable and provided the foundation he needed to become one of the most prolific personalities in Hollywood. The creative energy that Dean brought to the set played a significant role in inspiring Hopper to reach his full potential as an artist and ultimately become the legend he was. Well, we could say that without James Dean, Dennis Hopper may have never reached the same heights of success that made him a household name. But the more popular you get, the more enemies you make, and it was proved by looking at Hopper's life, as he was known for making enemies wherever he went. Whether on the set of a movie, in his personal life, or even at events, Hopper's outspokenness and brash attitude earned him more enemies than before. His unpredictable behaviour often drove people away and made it difficult for him to make lasting connections. His aggressive style of expression was a constant source of drama, and while it made him famous, it also earned him many enemies, and regardless of the difficulties in making friends, he also suffered from alcoholism and drug abuse for many years, leading to multiple trips to rehab facilities. His struggles ultimately took a toll on his physical health, but he recovered through therapy and hard work. Unfortunately, relapse is all too common in addiction, and Hopper was no exception. But one thing that we cannot deny is his craze for acting, as after going through a series of addiction hurdles, he was still determined to play a role in Jungle Warriors, where he was asked to play a never-to-accept role, and his unyielding dedication to acting was made clear as he committed to performing this scene despite the extreme conditions and intense heat, and later it became one of Dennis Hopper's darkest moments, as he was asked to be completely nude, daringly running through the Mexican jungle. This pivotal moment captures Dennis's passion for film and encapsulates his undying devotion to storytelling, demonstrating his courage and commitment. Stripped of everything but his body and spirit, Dennis Hopper displayed the power of authentic expression in one of cinema's most unforgettable scenes. The imagery that this scene evokes is one of awe-inspiring beauty and strength, a moment of pure passion that is remembered deeply by all who have seen it. Dennis Hopper's willingness to go to any lengths for his art is an admirable quality and a testament to his legendary status in the entertainment industry. Well, because of his legendary status, Dennis Hopper was known to be a Hollywood heartthrob, and his romantic life reflected it. He had many affairs and lovers throughout his lifetime. His first wife was Brooke Hayward, and he later married 2 more times, Daria Halprin in 1972 and Victoria Duffy in 1996. Between those marriages he had multiple girlfriends, including Michelle Phillips, Michelle Triola and Catherine Deneuve. Not only this, but he was also said to be involved with some of his co-stars, such as Karen Black and Diane Ladd. His lovers' list was long and varied, from married models to young unknown actresses. Hopper had a unique charm that won the hearts of many women during his lifetime, and his turbulent relationships always captivated the public's interest and fascination. But all of the above news that caught everyone's attention was his 8-day marriage to Michelle Phillips. So it all started when the pair met in Taos, New Mexico, and tied the knot on October 31st, 1970. But later on it became a tumultuous affair after they fought non-stop, and their relationship soon crumbled just a week after saying, "I do." It was a whirlwind romance that quickly soured and ended in an annulment. Hopper said of the experience, "If you want to know what insanity is, try 8 days of marriage with someone you don't really love." He would later reflect on the incident with humour, but at the time it was chaotic, crazy and wild, just like the life of Dennis Hopper. Despite their brief union, it would become one of Hopper's most famous and talked about relationships. Well, we can say that there was nothing Dennis did not go through during his tenure, from heartbreaks to successful singles. He was the man who saw it all, and indeed he was the true survivor, as he struggled alone in the Hollywood industry, but failed to fight his fate and died of prostate cancer on May 29th, 2010 at the age of 74. But we cannot deny that Dennis Hopper is still remembered as a cultural icon of the 20th century, and his legacy will continue to inspire us as we believe you guys will strive to push boundaries and create meaningful works of art. We cannot deny that Hopper will forever be remembered as a passionate iconoclast who dared to challenge convention and always spoke his truth. He will be deeply missed, but his influence and creativity will live forever. So guys, comment below and let us know what Hopper's quote motivates you most. Well, who do you think can be the next Hopper of our era? Dennis Hopper has never hidden his personality, but there were those in Hollywood who had no choice. why Kim Novak had to hide her interest of love. This video is made for you.